Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Um, Dear all, how are you doing? How's your life? Let's complete our last lecture, which was about how to be a good teacher. Okay? So, in order to complete this lecture, let's have some kind of revision about what we got last time. Our last lecture was about how to be a good teacher. And we discussed that we said that we have 6 questions, and we just talked about our first question, which was what makes a good teacher. Today, we are going to complete question 2 and question 3. How should teachers talk to students and how should teachers give instructions? Okay. To sum up my last lecture, if you remember, I was talking about what makes a good teacher. We said that your lessons should be interesting, your teacher should love his job, teacher's personality can impress your students, you should have a lot of knowledge. Also, you should be an entertainer and excellent rapport with your students, and that can be achieved by knowing students' problems, divide your classroom according to your students' needs, to know more about your types of students, to know your class profile, like how many students do I have in this class, what about the culture of this classroom, do I have quiet students, shy students, do I have talkative ones, naughty ones. Also, we talked about how to correct student mistakes and the classroom discipline, and also about the classroom management. Now, one last note that I like to add about my last lecture, that um, good teachers care more about their students' learning. Good teachers care more about their teachers' learning than they do about their own teaching. So, as we said, take care of your students' learning more than taking care of your teaching, of your own teaching. Okay, so that um, ensures the idea that we discussed last lecture, that all of us should take care about our students' interests. Okay, let's complete. Today, my question is, how should teachers talk to students? How should teachers talk to students? What do you mean by how teachers talk to students? You mean talk in Arabic or in English? No, 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 I don't mean like that at all. But my question is, the way teachers talk to students, the manner in which they interact with the students. So this topic is very crucial. This topic is very crucial. The first one is, my advice to you is to use exaggerated tones of voice, and also to use simple language that contains less complex grammatical structures. Uh, how can we do that? Don't use your language. The language that you are going to use in the classroom should match your students' level. For example, if you are teaching in high-level schools, for example, uh, your language should not be the same like the one who teaches at primary school. So it differs all completely. Okay, so you need to use easy vocab that matches the student's age. Also, you need to use eye contact with some kind of physical contact. It would be greater, by the way, if you do that. And as you know that there's something is called body language. This is a way of communicating with your students. Don't depend on just oral communicating, okay? But you can also use your body language. How can we do that? We do not depend on communicating only on our oral one, but we can use or we can do some physical movements, like what we got in our college, if you remember, like doing some kind of miming, acting, gestures. You can say some expressions. You can use or do some facial expressions. Okay. Also, you can show happiness, sadness. What else we can say? time sequence. If your lecture is going to end, okay, you can do that by, for example, putting your putting your hand on the other one. So it's something like showing your students that the time is passing. These are some techniques as a part of the language. So if you would like to talk to your students, to sum up what we said, there are a lot of ways, not just oral communicating, but you can also use your body language. And by the way, if you do that in a funny way, your students will imitate you and of course will love your lecture and will love your class, and they are gonna wait for you to come for next class. Okay, thank you. Let's move to the other question. Okay. So let's complete question 3, which is, how should teachers give instructions? By the way, the teacher is responsible for his class, for his students. So do you think that one of the teacher's jobs in the classroom, inside the class, is to give instructions all the time? Who can tell me? Tell me your opinions. I'd like to hear from you about. Write comments, please. Tell me that if I'm right, tell me you're right. If I'm wrong, tell me. Share with me. Share your ideas with me. So the issue of how to talk, of how to give instructions is very important. How? You should know that giving instructions should be simple, logical. Simple and logical. How simple and logical? How? For example, teachers should ask themselves these questions before giving instructions. Ask yourself first before giving the instructions to your students. What is important information? What is the importance of this kind of information that I'm trying to convey? Is it important or not? Before giving the instruction, ask yourself, is this kind of information important for my students or not? Okay, another question. What must students know if they are to complete the activity? If they are to complete the activity? And which information do they need first? So you have to classify the information according to the importance. And also, something important, after giving instructions to your students, don't forget to check your students' understanding. Don't just give instructions and maybe there are some students do not understand what you're saying. So you have to check their understanding. How can I check my students' understanding? That can be achieved by, you can explain the activity. If they do not understand, you can ask one of your brilliant students to do the activity for the classroom, and then the students will do the same like their classmate did. Also, you can, if you and your students have the same mother tongue, you can ask one of your students to translate what you said. So it would be easy for your students. By the way, speaking Arabic all the time in the classroom, this is something wrong, not right. Even if most of your students do not understand you, by the time they are gonna understand, don't care about that. But the problem here is that most of our teachers speak Arabic. Students do not listen to English at all. Pay attention, please. Pay attention for our sons and daughters. Okay? Thank you. Enjoy your time. Inshallah, we are going to complete our next lecture with questions 4 and 5. See you.